Hi everyone, let's wait just a few minutes to start. Me pongo los cascos. Let's start our opening. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here once again, talking about our products, especially for wedding stationery. So today I want to give you a general overview of the wedding and event products from Janie's paper, with focus on the product lines, the materials, and the kind of a visual and client value that can bring to your work. This is not only about invitations, okay, as a single product. It's also about different formats, finishes, and coordinated pieces that can help create a more complete offer for weddings and events. So in this live, I will talk about the main invitation styles, special materials, matching day of stationery, and also some products directions that can help professionals offer more variety to their clients. So, what stands out in this collection is the breadth of product types. These are classic invitations formats, for example. Then we have decorative formats, luxury-looking materials, modern transparent pieces, soft tactile finishes, and also more trend-driven options. For professionals, these matter because clients do not all want the same thing. Some want romantic and ornate, for example. Some want modern and minimal. Some want texture. Some want a visual impact, and some want novelty, for example. So, a strong product range allows you to respond to different clients and without staying limited to just one visual language. It also helps in consultation, because when you can show different formats, different directions clearly, it becomes easier to guide the client through this solution. That fits both style and of the event according to their budget also. So let's start with the classic one, the laser cut invitations. For example, I know that all of you already know, but like this one, okay, this one is in velvet, but this is still a very relevant category for wedding stationery, because it offers detail, structure, and the immediate visual richness. And the laser cut invitations, or the laser cut pieces, often work very well for the clients who want something elegant, decorative, romantic, or even more formal. Within this type of product, what makes it different is not only the cut pattern in itself, but also the construction of the piece. So we have pocket formats, for example, a fold formats, layered inserts also, and decorative wraps that you can match with other invitations, that can all change how the invitation feels in the hand and how the information will be present. For professionals, laser cut is useful because it naturally creates a special occasion feeling. It has a strong gift-like presentation and helps when the client wants the first impression to be more ceremony and have more presence, for example. It also is a category with a good upsell potential even today, because once the client is interested in a more elaborate invitation, this could be a very good option, and they are often open to coordinate pieces and embellishments that continue the same language. Then we have a more modern and very known already. This one is with the paper behind, but let me show you a mirrored acrylic invitation as an example. But we have others. The acrylic invitation speaks to a different kind of client than the laser cut invitation. So they feel more modern, more polished, and often more luxury driven. The material itself already communicates something strong before the design even started. Okay, it's quite different. A clear acrylic has a clean and refined effect. Let me show you like this example. Okay, and then we have also the frosted acrylic that feels more softer and more diffused. The mirrored acrylic like this one that I showed you is more dramatic, more bold. And then we also have the colored acrylic that can move in either a playful and or premium direction depending of the design approach. So for event professionals, acrylic is interesting because it works very well when the client wants a product that feels memorable and not just a paper standard. It also one of those materials that can support a strong photography. Okay, let me show you. This is not the invitation, but this is for the tables. It's a stationary product. So works very well with photography. Sorry. And so if your clients care about details, fine lace, or a more editorial wedding identity, acrylic can become a strong part of the visual story. And from some sales point of view, this is kind of product that helps the position of the invitation not only has an information, but also has a design object. Then we can start talking about, let me show you just an example of a colored acrylic invitation. See, this is a very luxury, we have like a very luxury vibe here. But let's talk now about flat invitations. And this is for clients who prefer something cleaner and more editorial. Flat invitations could be a very important category for those type of clients. This is where the typography, the layout, the paper quality, and the print finish become at the center of the attention. In this case, for example, we have together with an acrylic tag with the monogram of the couple. When you work with a flat invitation, the strength of the piece depends much more on the graphic balance, the material choice, and the finished details. So that can include for example, the letterpress print that is very out of the boxes. They have gives a very luxury feeling. Also, the foil embossing that we also now have. It's very nice. Digital print, UV print, and for example, the special edges. You can find all of these options in janie'spaper.com. And this category is very useful also for professionals because it gives flexibility. You can build something minimal and refined, for example, or you can build something classic and timeless, for example, using the velvet option, has a paper, or you can also invest in something more modern and bold, depending on the paper, the typography, spacing, and print method that you're going to apply to the invitation. And also, the flat invitations adapt very well to clients who want sophistication without visual excess. So they may look simpler at first, but usually they are more than that. But in many cases, they demand a stronger design discipline. And so this type of product is especially valuable when the client appreciates design clarity and when the brand language of the event is more polished, modern, or editorial. Now, I talked about the event of, and showed you applied here, the vellum, and in this case, the velvet paper, but we also have another one, the vellum paper. And why I want to talk about these two materials is because these two materials can give a different direction and improve the strong tactile and visual character of the invitation. So vellum, okay, like this one over here, this is a save the date, or here has a wrap. It's very useful when you want layering, softness, and translucent effect. It works beautifully, has an overlay, jacket, or a wrap, like I showed you before, because it adds depth without making the design too heavy. And you can pair it also with different printings, okay? You can use digital print also, but it's amazing with UV print and also with foil, and it can soften the whole presentation, okay, and make the invitation feel more delicate, more airy, and more styled. So this is one of the good things that vellum can do. Now, velvet. I'm going to show you now, not invitation, but for example, this envelope that is also in velvet, and for example, a flat invitation with velvet paper and foil printing in rose gold. So velvet works in a very different way than the vellum. It adds texture, weight, and more luxury emotional feel. So it lets more transparency, like we talked before, but more about the touch. Okay, so if the other one looks very delicate and soft, this talks luxury and very touchy feeling, you know. It's very nice to have it in your hands. For professionals, these materials are important because they create a sensory value, and sensory value is often what helps the client understand why one invitation feels more special than another one. Okay, or the other. For example, the velvet. When you touch velvet, is very you have that luxury feeling, like thinking about the kings and palace, and you already are feeling like a princess and a very special person. When the clients touch the material and immediately feels a difference, the product starts to justify the higher perceived value. That matters not only for aesthetics but also for the pricing confidence. So it's very nice for your business. Then, another interesting point is the presence of more trend-led and non-traditional formats. This kind of products, for example, acrylic with LED, this is just an example. These kind of products are useful for professionals who want to offer clients something beyond the classic printed suit. So the digital invitations, like NFC invitations, can support convenience, speed, or in a hybrid communication. Like in this case, you can have part of the invitation printed and match with the digital side, taking your the invites, the people that your bride and groom are inviting sending them to have extra details in the website or the maps or whatever, and you can play with the two worlds. And that's what the NFC products introduce. It's an interactive layer, and the LED pieces, like for example, this is an invitation in this case with LED. They create a strong surprise effect, because now no one will expect that invitation will have light on it. So you can have that surprise effect in the invitations. And then you have also the floral and dried flower inspired formats connect very well with the romantic, organic, or style event directions. And not every client wants innovation, okay? And that is important to say. This is not for all of your clients, it's not for all of the all types of wedding or events. But for the right client, this product can create a distinction, okay? Like, this is not already just, it's not just an invitation, okay? It becomes something more. It's like a topic of conversation. You can stay like a souvenir, become a memory, okay? It's more easy to maintain this one than, for example, to keep this type of invitation than a flat invitation for some cases. And they can help you offer something more specific, more memorable, more aligned with the current event styling trends. For a business perspective, having these options in your product conversation can also help position you as someone who offers both, like classic and also contemporary solutions. For professionals, the invitation suite is rarely, yes, I think I'm pronouncing okay, the end of the job. So this is more, in a wedding is more than just invitations. One of the strongest commercial and creative opportunities is the extension into a day off stationery. This includes what? Includes pieces like save the date cards, menus, for example, place cards, like this one. Both are in acrylic, but we have other options. Program cards also. Okay, this is another menu, see, with a tag. It's very nice. Thank you cards, table numbers, signage, and other coordinated items, like for example, for the top of the cake. Again, this is in acrylic, but it's not just the only option. Let me show you something that is not acrylic. Customized napkins, see, with foil printing, very nice. And why this is important? Because clients usually respond very well when they see continuity, when the visual language from the invitation continues into the event space. So the whole experience feels more intentional and more complete. And from the professional side, this is where the project becomes more cohesive and also more valuable. Instead of delivering one isolated product, okay, for example, we talk about LED invitations. You can offer and introduce LED in other type of products, okay? For example, see, a sign. You're not seeing quite clearly, but let me, because this is transparent, but see, all customized with print. And this also, this one have LED, see, it's disconnected, but you can have the LED effect also in the sign. You can customize this even with your own handwriting. So this is very nice. So you can add some of the products and the aesthetic that you have in the invitations in the rest of the wedding stationery and offer all those options. So instead of just having one piece. So that strengthens the design identity and naturally opens a space for a larger order value. so good for your business. I showed you this one, signage, and is another strong product area. Okay, welcome signs, like this one, seating chart, table signs, acrylic signs, drink tags, okay, like this one, see, it's very nice, okay. Card boxes, napkins, coasters, backdrop signs, and similar pieces all help extend the stationery language into the value. This matters because in many events now, stationery is not only read, it's also seen as part of the styling. So this is not just practical information, it's part of the event design, okay? And that changes how we think about the product. So a seating chart is not only a list, for example. A welcome sign is not only a greeting. These are visual entry points into the event atmosphere. And when the materials, the print choices, and the styling directions are aligned, these pieces do much more than communicate. They contribute to the mood, to the photography, and overall for the client perception of your work, and also for the perception of the wedding itself. How to help the clients understand what they want. That's another important aspect for professionals is the use of samples, swatches, and materials references. When you work with multiple materials like we are talking now, the finishes, the colors, and the embellishment options, the physical reference become very important, okay? More than I'm showing you here in this live, the ideal is you have the samples in your hand and compare and touch, and the same feeling that you are going to have, your client can have it too. So the client often struggle to imagine texture, weight, transparency, and the finish for images alone. But once they can see and touch the samples, decision making becomes much more easier. That means samples are not only useful for choosing, but also useful for selling. And they help also to reduce hesitation, improve communication, because they're already having more information just by touching and seeing it with their own eyes, and support more confident upgrades in material and finish. They will have a more clear perception of how it's going to look at the end. For anyone working directly with event clients, that is a practical advantage, okay? So overall, what this kind of product range offers is flexibility and also allows professionals to work across different wedding styles, different budgets, and also different levels of a visual complexity. These are products with decorative appeal, products with a modern appeal. You have products with a strong tactile appeal and value, and products that support a more complete event stationery like LED, acrylic, and so on, that will offer also from the invitation to event day pieces. And that is probably the key. That is probably the key point. Sorry. The value is not only in each product, but how they will communicate together. Okay, they will look more complete, more styled, and more adaptable, and how this will help and how you're going to offer to your client. Thank you so much for being here. You can find these and even more options in janispaper.com. And also, if you have any question, you can send us a direct message, an email, and we'll be very pleased to help you with your business and also with your wedding project that you have at hand. I hope that this live gave you a little more information, a clear point of view of how we have and how these product lines can support your work of weddings or events. Again, thank you so much, and I hope to see you here next time. Bye bye.